Welcome to today's 5-minute Bible study in the book of James. We're in James chapter 5. Today we're looking at verses 17 and 18. Now James is still talking to us about the power of prayer. You remember in yesterday's session in verse 16, he told us the prayer of a righteous man is powerful and effective. And now in verses 17 and 18, he gives us an illustration of that kind of powerful prayer. And he uses the Old Testament prophet Elijah. So let's read verses 17 and 18. Now Elijah was a human being just as we are. He prayed earnestly that it would not rain, and it did not rain on the land for 3.5 years. And again he prayed, and the heavens gave rain, and the earth produced its crops. Okay, he's telling us a little bit about the story of Elijah. Now we remember Elijah, of course, is a prophet in the Old Testament. We read his story in 1 Kings chapter 17 and following. Elijah lived during the time when Ahab was king of Israel with his queen Jezebel. It was a dark time spiritually for the life of Israel. And when we first meet Elijah in chapter 17, we're told this about him. So in 1 Kings 17, the first couple of verses. Now Elijah the Tishbite in Gilead said to Ahab, "As the Lord, the God of Israel lives, whom I serve, there will be neither dew nor rain in the next few years, except at my word." So Elijah gave this prophetic word to the king that a drought is coming. There will be no rain until I say so. And the drought began and lasted for over 3 years. This is what James is referring to. The prayers of Elijah, in response to the prophetic word God had given him, caused a drought for the land. Now, after 3 years, Elijah comes and appears once again before Ahab and tells Ahab to gather the prophets of Baal at Mount Carmel for a great contest to see who God truly is. Is Baal God or is the Lord God? And of course, we remember that great contest. Remember, they both built an altar. The prophets of Baal put a sacrifice on the altar. Elijah put a sacrifice on the altar of the Lord. He said, let's see which God will send down the fire. Prophets of Baal prayed all day, and of course nothing happened. And then Elijah prayed to the Lord, and fire fell on the altar and consumed the sacrifice. And the people realized the Lord, He is God. A great revival swept the nation, and they swept away the prophets of Baal. Now after that, after this powerful demonstration of the power of prayer and who truly is the Lord God, He alone is Lord. He alone is God. And then Elijah prays for the rain to come. So we're at the end of chapter 18 now. And Elijah said to Ahab, "Go eat and drink, for there is the sound of a heavy rain." It hadn't rained for 3.5 years. So Ahab went off to eat and drink. But Elijah climbed to the top of Carmel. He bent down to the ground. He put his face between his knees. "Go out and look toward the sea," he told his servant. He went and looked. "There's nothing there," the servant said. 7 times Elijah said, "Go back." The 7th time the servant reported, "A cloud as small as a man's hand is rising from the sea." So Elijah said, "Go and tell Ahab, hitch up your chariot, go down before the rain stops you." Meanwhile the sky grew black with clouds. The wind rose, a heavy rain started falling, and Ahab rode off to Jezebel. The power of the Lord came on Elijah. So we see the power of Elijah's prayers. First in stopping the rain and bringing a drought upon the land in punishment for worshiping Baal. And then after the defeat of the prophets of Baal, Elijah prays again that God will send the rain, and the rain fell. What a powerful encounter to demonstrate who God is, and it all came by agency of the prayers of Elijah. The prophet of the Lord was commanded to pray, and in response to his prayer, the Lord's will was done. And so James refers back to this. The signs and wonders that accompany the ministry of Elijah, the power of his prayers when the Lord commanded him. He was a righteous man. And James is saying we should expect our prayers to have impact as well. We say, well, I'm not like Elijah. I'm not a prophet. Indeed, we're not. But notice it says Elijah was just a human being like we are. The power that was through him was not anything extraordinary about him, but that he gave his life to the Lord, and he prayed in faith, and the power of God flowed through him, and so it will with us. if we'll believe and trust in the Lord and pray based on our faith in Him, not on anything within ourselves, but our trust in the Lord. It's the prayer of faith that God can use to send His power and His ministry. And that's what He did for Elijah. And James says that's the example for us. If we will pray in faith, pray and trust, we will see the power of God demonstrated. Indeed, the prayer of a righteous man is effective and powerful. It was for Elijah, and it is still so for the people of God today, if we'll believe and we'll pray in faith. Join us tomorrow as we continue our 5-minute Bible study in the book of James.